sit next to the fire. Let's hear a story about Mr. Weasel's first encounter with Sasquatch. Hello, my name is Mr. Weasel. That's what they used to call me. Josh and I have been friends since pretty much when we were in 7th grade, and we've grown up together. One day, he was telling me that Sasquatches exist, and I pretty much never believed in it, I told Josh. I don't believe in that stuff. So he asked me if I wanted to go camping. I said, sure. I don't pass up doing that outdoor stuff. I love the outdoors. So we went to the place. And I thought to myself, this can't be where we're going to be. I thought for a moment that we were going to be camping out like kids in the dad's backyard. When he took me to his father-in-law's place, we unloaded and he took me down to the area we were going to be camping. Whew, I thought we were going to be in the backyard. We actually are going in the woods. We were carrying our stuff down the steep hill, going down into the woods, and then I stopped. I noticed some tracks. First there was a couple of deer tracks. Then I seen what seemed to be a year-old bear track. And I was amazed. There were no bear in that area. I've gone down a little further into the woods, and then I seen a little area that I've noticed. It seemed like something was living in there. Something I've never seen before. We decided to set up camp right in that spot. I told Josh I feel like we're on something's dinner plate and I don't know what it is. I've never seen it before. During that first evening, we had activity. It sounded like people were walking around you in the pure darkness of camp. I couldn't see them because they were in the thicket staying out of our view. It was just circling us. Then later on that evening, we heard chatter communication, and then we heard what sounded like packs of coyote. It was odd because you could hear them yipping, and it sounded like they were on a big hunt. Later on came in the morning, and I heard something run down the hill on 2 legs screaming as loud as it can, roaring. By the time I opened my eyes to see, it was so fast, but it looked like a person in a suit. But the sound was too animal-like and unlike anything a person can do. The following evening, I was feeling drained. It was as if I was tranquilized. As I'm laying in my hammock, fighting my drowsiness, I lifted my head and was amazed at what I saw. I wound up seeing 4 white Sasquatches and a small young female with brownish red hair. The small one is the one that we call Chaka. From that moment on, I could say that I started believing in Sasquatch. I started doing research and came across this cryptozoologist who literally shows you them in actual footage as he walks up on one. He lets you know that they are not alone and they live in family units and protect each other. That's when I realized that they have language. And these things have been around as long as the mammoths were. This leads me to think that these things are far beyond the great apes. They learn more towards human-like creatures. Although the great apes have been seen to have such social societies as well. It has been proven that great apes also have some form of intelligence like men. They have also been shown to construct and use tools. These Sasquatches are far more advanced than the great ape species. They are also a lot more powerful. I feel that the Sasquatch rests as much higher intelligence level over all known great ape species. I would like to figure out their language and break the communication barrier. That is my goal here, and that is what I'm trying to seek. By Mr. Weasel. Bigfoot. We're in a valley. We're deep. We're real deep. Let's just see if I can figure out how to turn the picture around. How do you turn the picture around? We're going that way anyway, so. Trying to keep me out from that way. We're going that way. Yep. Weasel, why don't you tell everybody about your first weekend you spent down here with me?
Well, I was a skeptic, I have to admit. You know, you would say UFOs, Sasquatch, aliens, you know. I would find every answer for you to say that they ain't, you know, non-existing UFOs. You know, pretty much we're drones. We're making them for an awful long time. Our technology's a lot more advanced than we think that we're at because government withhold things from us. Aliens, there's really no proof or evidence on such a thing, but, you know, paranormal activities there is. Sasquatch, though, on the other hand, I mean, I grown up in the woods, never, ever even noticed that they existed or anything until the first time I came with Josh. He said, we're going to go camping.
I'm going to turn the
Come
camera
right out. And the, sure is to that night, man, they let themselves know that they were here, that they did exist. You know, I felt it was kind of weird though, going through a thing like you were being tranquilized. It was very exhausted. It was fighting. I think it was more like because I was scared. I would have to admit that. And, you know, fighting that fear, that making a person that would probably pass out, you know. But I would say I saw 4 white Sasquatches, and our typical cinnamon color one that we named Chaka because at the time she was a young juvenile. Now I say she because she is a female. But we're in an area I would say is a family unit, ranging anywhere from 6 to 8. Definitely not quite sure, because, you know, I seen Chaka and the 4 white ones. To tell you what sex they were, I couldn't say. It just freaked me out seeing silverback gorilla standing 7 feet tall from the backside until one turned its head to the side, and for sure it looked human. I thought I was some kind of freakish Twilight Zone or something, some laboratory experiment escaped, because that's what it seemed like to me. But I have to admit that they are real. I am part Native American, so I looked into the folklore of the Native Americans throughout all the tribes in the United States, and they all agree that Sasquatch do exist. They tell you stories from time, pretty much almost from the beginning, So I guess these things been around for an awful long time. I would like to do the research and studies because I do believe they have a communication level. Just sitting here listening to them talking amongst themselves pretty much sounds as if they do have some kind of language. To study that would be unique. I do believe they're more intelligent than the great apes that's been researched. These things are much more different than apes. They're not human either. I can almost say if they really did belong here, then we might not belong here. Some between us and them are a little different, and I would like to do a great research on this. There's a couple other guys out there, cryptologists, who've done a lot more research, and it would be wise for everybody to go check them out and see what they've come up with, because they pretty much walked with them in a sort of sense. And Josh's take on them, or what he said, is to study their behavior and and their ability to what they're eating and stuff like that. So that's a pretty good intake between us both. We should, if we can get our research going, we should come up with something pretty interesting on what they are.
Oh yeah, by the way, Weasel has a YouTube channel as well, the Weasel Files. You might want to check him out. His link's here down below. Check him out if you like his stuff. Give him a thumbs up and subscribe. That is YouTube. Also, what do we have here? Yeah. See, he's got stuff on YouTube here. Check him out, guys. And look, he's on Rumble too. Rumble.com/WTF. The Weasel Files. Check him out. That was pretty cool with Yoda on his back. Have you had a cryptid encounter? Or a creepy experience with a haunting or a ghost or something paranormal? And you want to hear it on this show? Just email me, squatchtopic.pa@gmail.com.